What's going on, everybody? It's Cam back again after a long time away from YouTube, but after Super Bowl 58 yesterday, I feel like I had to hop back on here and give my 2 cents, I guess. So ultimately, why I think the Chiefs won the Super Bowl is they did a really good job in the game of messing with the Niners defensive ends, which I felt like they kind of controlled the first half. Nick Bosa and Chase Young and that Niners defense, I thought, really did a good job of controlling things and being in the driver's seat in terms of down and distance and keeping the Chiefs off schedule. They just did a really good job of doing that. So in the second half, I felt like, the things that the two guys who really make that defense, especially on the defensive line, are Chase Young and Nick Bosa. So I thought the Chiefs did a great job when it came down to it. And when the stakes were highest, they did a great job of capitalizing on those moments. So the first thing I want to point out is on this 2-minute drive specifically, something that defenses will do, especially when everybody's lined up in man like this. Anytime you see guys in kind of a straight line right here at depth or even pressed up on the line of scrimmage, it's most of the time man. Something that teams will do with man is they will have their end, or with coverages, I should say, is they'll have their end match the back, right? So you'll see Pacheco at the back here. He's working out to the flat. This end is also going to match. Now, if that back stays in to protect, he will also rush the passer. So in this situation, Pacheco works out. Mahomes is able to see that, work upfield, and pick up a couple of yards here. So on this, right, what I want to show you is that it's not just that the Niners ends are doing. It's really the Chiefs who are doing a good job of messing with ends and giving them other things to worry about other than just going and dominating a football game. When you have really good defensive ends, something that you can do offensively is you can check release. You can give them reads. You can, false key them. You can do a number of things to keep them off balance. So in this situation with this play, all the Chiefs have done here is motion Watson from the bottom to the top. What they're going to do schematically is they're going to work MVS upfield vertically. Watson's going to work upfield vertically. Pacheco is going to the flat. And then Noah Gray is going to check release on Nick Bosa and then find a little spot right down underneath everything. But I think the key that I want to show you guys with this is that they're giving the ends defense different looks, and if you can do that, you can keep them from really being just their true athletic selves and ruining a game. Going back to the schematics of things, something that I really liked from the Chiefs' perspective is they saw that sometimes, when they see something they like, and I don't know exactly what it is coverage-wise, I don't think it's if they're just straight up in man, but because here they're like bringing heat and kind of in zero, and sometimes when you do that, like I said before, you'll match with the back. So number 5 right here, he's going to be the guy who matches with the back. You'll see he rushes upfield. Now, like I said before, if that back stays in to protect, they will add on with the rush. So it looks to him, right, because McKinnon's on the opposite side of this. Okay, so if McKinnon was lined up here, it's possible that he just releases and he releases as well and this play's done. But since they line McKinnon up opposite of where this defensive end is to the field, right? And they have him come cross face, okay, and then release him into the flat. 5 doesn't even notice that, and he's working back into coverage the opposite way. That's a good coverage bust that the Chiefs are taking advantage of. I think that's something that they probably had, in their back pocket that they could go to late in the game when they needed it. Now the Chiefs on this, just because I want to point out, they have the Niners beat really twice here because they have Rashee Rice open on this route as well. Just a great play call in that situation, and one of those things that makes Kansas City Kansas City. So moving on to this 3rd and 7, something that I wanted to point out here is just I was just kind of questioning what the Niners are doing, man. And this is one of those things that, maybe the Chiefs saw on film, but it's 3rd and 7, it's 4th quarter. If you can get a stop here, even a sack maybe, you make that field goal a lot more difficult for Butker and the Chiefs, right? Chiefs call a great man beater in this situation. And something that I really want to point out here is contributions from players you don't really see. And so Noah Gray, who we talked about earlier, him and Kelsey are really running just mesh, right? So as Gray's working here, his job is going to be to get in the way of Warner, right? Which, again, something else that I have some qualms with is, well, why is Fred Warner giving Travis Kelsey a free release? You can't do that, especially not against him. On top of that, though, now he's trying to trail Travis Kelsey, right? But Noah Gray does a great job of working upfield and giving a little pick on that, okay? So, and all it does is cause Fred Warner to go just a little bit underneath, adjust his stuff, adjust his route to that ball carrier a little bit, and it's able to spring Kelsey for a big first down and ultimately the game-tying field goal. So I want to go now to overtime because, again, situationally is really where I want to focus with this. 3rd down and 4, if the Chiefs dial up pressure just like they did earlier in the game, but ultimately what I want to show you is where this thing goes down and where I think Brock Purdy kind of missed something on this. If you look at the top, right where Tony Romo's highlighting, these two guys are going to run slants, all right? They're going to motion Christian McCaffrey right up field here, okay? All that's going to show you is that this is man. ultimately with the protection on this, and if you guys don't follow, Jeff Schwartz does a great job breaking this down. He's a great follow. What they're running is a pass protection where the guard's going to work down, the tackle's going to work down, and the center is going to bump out to take anything off the edge, right? So anytime you have a puller, you got to have a fill. So the guard's filling, like I said, tackle's filling. Well, this backside guard here, he's got Chris Jones lined up basically on this tackle's inside shoulder, right? So this guard thinks that he's working down to take care of pressure, because the Chiefs are bringing pressure here and they're bringing pressure here. So this guard thinks that he's working down to take care of this A gap, and it opens up huge for Chris Jones. Chris Jones basically gets a free release on this play. And there's nothing that this tackle can do either. It's not his job, right? The tackle has to work out here because Kittle's going to check release on this end. So he's only going to block for a second, and then he's out on a route. So that tackle's got to set like he's got that edge defender coming. There's no hope. There was no hope on that play from a protection perspective. Additionally, I was wondering, why didn't Brock Purdy look at the slant? Now going back, just a little callback. This is in the fourth quarter. You guys can see there 2 minutes left to go in the ball game. 3rd down and 4 again, and what's Spagnuolo doing? Dialing up pressure again, and Brock Purdy misses it, right? And so this is kind of the thing where it's like last play when they're inside the 10, they're an empty, so things are a little bit different. But with this play, right, you have Kittle in, and this is the answer, right? This is the thing. Kittle is playing running back right now. He's not playing running back for any other reason than the pass protect. That's it, because you know Spagnuolo pressures on 3rd down. So if you know that, you have to make the adjustments of, all right, let's put somebody back. Let's not waste Christian McCaffrey. Let's put George Kittle back here. He can block. He's better at blocking. He's going to do a better job than Christian McCaffrey will. And also, we want that guy out in space trying to catch football. So what does Spagnuolo do in this situation? He brings heat. Okay, so what he's going to do is he's going to work Bolton here, Karlaftis here, and then he's got, I think that's Willie Gay, head up on the center. He's going to pressure right down Main Street. So they also bring this nickel, and this nickel works right upfield. They're bringing 4 to a side that the Niners only have 3. So my question in this is, why doesn't he see this? Because you should be able to know this is coming when you're looking. Because if you can see from here, if you're looking at it from the top, this safety and this nickel are stacked. Usually when you get guys who are stacked like that, this nickel's pressuring, right? Because they're going to run man behind it. You can't pressure from here and then not have anything to cover. You have to have something there. So from my perspective, I'm wondering, like, why didn't we see this? So if you have this side and you see this stack and this guy also creeping, in my eyes, you have to slide this protection or you have to flip Kittle, but you can't do this, which is basically just eat this down. Moving on to the overtime, just a couple of things, kind of calling back to what I said earlier. The messing with defensive ends, ultimately, I thought was the X factor in this game. So on this play, I think Pat's really just reading one guy. I think he's reading this backer right here. They work to hide Travis Kelce really behind this backside guard. They give him that run action look. Oh, Bosa bites hard on this, hard. And Romo even mentioned it on the broadcast. He's like, you can't sell out on the run like that. I get why he did it, but like at the same time, this is a great play call from the Chiefs, knowing how aggressive and how much those ends, especially when you think to earlier in the game when they were really dominating. Obviously, these guys are going to be like, hey, 4th and 1. Kind of my time to shine, right? Now all we're reading is this one guy to see, okay, is he working to me or is he working to Travis Kelce, which obviously he works to Kelce, and Pat picks up an easy 1st down, right? Moving on to this 3rd and 6, kind of calling back again to that 4th quarter drive. This is actually the exact same play that they ran to Kelce on that 4th, or in the 4th, right? It's just with 2 different guys now. They're just running it with Rashee Rice, and they're running it with Mecole Hardman. It's an easy completion for Pat, and the Chiefs pick up the 1st down here. So this is the game-winning play here, and it looks eerily similar to what they ran against the Eagles. And again, this is really the biggest thing with this is just knowing, like, all right, the Chiefs know, and every team knows that, like, anytime you get inside the 10, inside the 5, a lot of times defensively you're going to see man. You can't really run zone inside the 5 just because it's impossible to run zone and have that be effective. You're going to have somebody slip through and find a hole in the coverage. But with this, you see the action in the backfield, boom. And Bosa, one more time, he's hammering down hard on this run action, which secondary-wise, from what I know about secondaries, this is a lot to communicate because you see this guy working full speed across. You have to communicate that to everybody here because now we all got to bump over one. So you're trying to communicate all of that, but meanwhile, you got Travis Kelce, you got Noah Gray working vertical. That's going to push these guys back in the coverage, right? And then you got to figure out who's taking this guy as he works to the flat. And that all depends whether they're going to exchange things like that or if they're going to stick with true man. Kansas City, man, that coaching staff just, they do the right thing. I feel like they're playing the cleanest football right now. They're playing championship caliber football. And as a Patriots fan, like, I watch the Chiefs and I think of the dynasties that the Patriots had, and I sit there and go, it's really not that different from when they were running their show. And I think people want to make an argument about, like, which is better. They're both great. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I just enjoy watching Kansas City play football, and just being creative with how they call things and having the culture set up and having, Pat Mahomes being the face of the franchise, and he's got that killer mentality in him, and now it's infectious, and guys want to walk in the building and they're automatically better because Pat Mahomes is your quarterback, and he's going to will everybody else to be better around him, or else they're not going to be there. I think that's what's cool about Mecole Hardman scoring the game-winning touchdown, is that he was a dude that kind of like was out of the good graces at Kansas City and then comes back and scores the game winner. It's awesome. So anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. If you guys want more of these, like it, share it, send it out to everybody, and we'll definitely have some more football coming your way. But until next time, I'll see you later, folks.